Today, I am announcing my run for President of the United States. This isn't just a political campaign. This is a cultural movement to create a new American dream for the next generation.
The multi-millionaire entrepreneur and former biotech executive and hedge fund partner announcing his candidacy for president, Vivek Ramaswamy. You may recognize Vivek from this show. He's been on the show before many times, and he's made a name for himself, not just in the business world, but also in the political arena. He's made a point, unlike many others, to challenge corporate America's efforts to advance woke politics or social causes, and yes, even targeting the ESG movement. The presidential field is getting a bit more crowded. First Nikki Haley, then there's continued speculation for Ron DeSantis. We shall see. And, of course, Donald Trump himself. But now, how will Vivek distinguish himself and what his vision is for America? Well, let's ask him himself. Joining me now to answer that question is Republican presidential candidate and author of Woke Inc., Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek, sounds pretty good, huh? Presidential candidate, you must be pretty excited about all this.
I'm excited about it, Eric, but I'm staying true to my reason for doing this, okay, which is that we're in the middle of a national identity crisis in this country where faith, patriotism, hard work, these things have disappeared. And we see these new secular religions in America, wokeism, climatism, COVIDism, gender ideology, filling the void instead. I think that presents a historic opportunity for the conservative movement in this country to fill that vacuum of identity with something so meaningful that it dilutes these woke agendas to irrelevance. We lack a good answer to the question of what it means to be an American today. And I am running for president to deliver an answer to that question with the principles that set this nation into motion 250 years ago. And I'm not channeling somebody else's agenda. As you well know, this is an agenda and a vision that I have developed myself over the last 3 years, and I'm looking forward to sharing with the country.
And you hit on something that was literally going to be my first question. You know, Trump came in, he was the disruptor in 2016. He was the businessman. He was the outsider. He was the guy who was going to come in and drain the swamp. You have some of the same credentials. Tell us the difference between Vivek Ramaswamy and Donald Trump 2016.
Well, actually, I see a lot of similarities to Donald Trump 2016. And if I'm going to be really honest with you, if he hadn't done what he did, I'm going to give him full credit here. I probably wouldn't even have thought about doing this in a serious way. But watching what he was able to do as an outsider wakes me up to the fact that right now, when I look at where we need to go from here, I think it's going to take an actual new outsider to do it, who's pointing out problems that other Republican candidates are unwilling to talk about. I mean, one of the things that I have been most vocal on, and I'm telling you I'm committing as U.S. president to doing, is dismantling affirmative action, race-based affirmative action in this country, abandoning the climate religion that shackles this country but leaves others untouched, using military force and physical force, if necessary, to decimate the cartels in the southern border to solve the fentanyl crisis. I could go on, but those examples of policies that I support share one thing in common. Other Republicans are, for some reason, shy about talking about them. And I think that once you become part of the political establishment, once you see how the sausage is made and become part of the sausage making, it changes your ability to actually disrupt. And so I take inspiration from what Donald Trump did in 2015 and 2016. I respect it. Now my question is, we can talk about putting America first, and I'm all in for the America First movement. But to put America first, we need to rediscover what America is. That's what my version of this is America First 2.0. We need to take this to the next level. And I'm coming in as an outsider, not just based on my business credentials. I think that's actually not the point here. But based on the vision I've developed over the last 3 years in my books, Woke Inc., Nation of Victims, in the national tour I've done, traveling a majority of states of this country and listening to citizens, that national vision, those basic principles, that's what I'm going to put into effect through a range of policies that other Republicans aren't talking about.
You are speaking right to the audience. You're speaking right to the conservative base right now. They want to hear that. They want to see the disruptor come in from the outside. They want to see drain the swamp. Take down the deep state, and you know, I read your op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. You said why I'm running, and you hit on many of those things. But here's my question, Vivek, and let's be honest. It takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of money to run for president. It takes, I don't know, what, $1 billion, $2 billion. So if you're taking on corporate America and saying, hey, you're too woke for our taste, how are you going to raise that kind of money to run for president?
Well, first thing, Eric, is I'm not apologetic about it. I have been successful in building a business and creating value. And you know what? If I'm going to spend money on anything, I think it's going to be on helping salvage this country. That's important to me. Here's what I didn't do, and here's what I refuse to do. The normal thing you're supposed to do before you run for president is you carry around a hat can, ring a tin can, and ask a bunch of donors for permission to run. I didn't do that, and I'm not going to do that as part of this process. But it also means that I'm going to need the support of everyday Americans. And to be honest with you, it can start with $1 donations. I don't care. I'm going to use this as a chance to, I'm not a natural politician, but I'm going to say it anyway. Go to Vivek2024.com, V-I-V-E-K, 2024.com. And I would love a small army of people who get behind this, even if it is $1, because for me, this is about a movement of everyday citizens, not the donor class that normally runs the show within the Republican Party. And I'll tell you, I'm a political outsider, but coming into this, it has been eye-opening how much of an influence and that these people feel. I want this to be a bottom-up funded campaign, actually.
Let's hit on a couple of things. The control room, cue up the Joy Reid soundbite. Joy Reid yesterday said that wokeness equals freedom. Now, someone who wants to run for president and someone who wrote a book called Woke Inc., you may take issue with it. Take a listen to this soundbite.
You know it, we know it, that this whole war against wokeness is really a war against freedom. And you know what? Some conservatives and libertarians know it too.
So what do you say to Joy Reid, who compares wokeness to one of our founding values, freedom?
Wokeness is psychological slavery. It tells you that what you can achieve in life and even what you're allowed to think is based on the color of your skin and your other genetically inherited attributes. Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley of the Squad actually summed up this philosophy well when she says, we don't want any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. I'll tell you this, Eric, I do not fit her description of what counts as a brown voice. But the idea that your thoughts and ideas and what you can achieve in life is constrained by your melanin content, that is the modern form of slavery. It is psychological slavery for the next generation of Americans. And I think we need to emancipate the next generation from this toxic ideology. That is a big part of why I'm running for president, not just to point out that problem, but to deliver actual solutions to that problem through the policy platforms that I laid out in the journal and elsewhere.
Speaking of actual solutions, you're an Ohio native. I believe you're from Ohio, and you saw Donald Trump go to Ohio, to East Palestine, Ohio, deliver some goods because the president of the United States chose to go overseas instead of going to Ohio and chose to do it on President's Day, no less. And our Secretary of Transportation decided he wasn't going to go there. He's now going to go there. What do you say as an Ohioan to this administration's ignorance of what's going on in one of their own states, meanwhile concerned with everything abroad? Final thought. It's not even
ignorance. It is reckless disregard. They know what's going on. It's just that they have turned the other cheek in the wrong way to look in the other direction. If Ohio was Ukraine, they would have sent billions of dollars in. But because it's Ohio, they've ignored it. If it was Washington, D.C. or New York City that saw this train accident, it would have received a very different federal response. And I speak as an Ohioan when I tell you this. People in Ohio know that. And that is why they do not trust the people who are in charge. So I applaud President Trump for going. But President Biden made a statement by going to Ukraine before even he or Pete Buttigieg went to Ohio. And the people of this country, including in Ohio, know it. And that's why they need leaders who actually respect them and their wishes. And I am running for president to represent the voices of those everyday citizens by reviving the ideals that they believe in, that I think we still believe in, and I think we can do it.
All right, Vivek Ramaswamy, appreciate you coming to On the Balance for the Newsmax exclusive to deliver your message on your 2024 candidacy. Good luck, my friend, and we will follow you throughout the what is it, a year and a half now, almost 2 years. Yeah. And we'll stay with you. We'll bring you back on and let us know how it's going.
Thank you, Eric. Good to see you.